Hey there, I'm Destiny74 and I've been playing Ed in Street Fighter for about 5 years now, and Capcom just officially announced that the character will return in Street Fighter 6. So I'd like to go over what I think should be iterated on, and what I'd like to see changed for the character. This is just my predictions and ideas for the character. We won't know until the character comes out how they'll actually play, so this may all be wrong, but it's fun to theory craft. So let's start with his design. In Street Fighter V, Ed's design was strange, honestly. He's written to be young and arrogant, with a boxing fighting style that uses a mix of psycho powers from M. Bison and traditional boxing from Balrog, and his main outfit is a Neo Shadaloo uniform with boots and boxing gloves. It's dark green and grey with gold and white highlights and a hint of red under his jacket. He has a very broad silhouette on top of having very muscular arms and thighs. This is more noticeable in some of his alternative outfits. I feel that he was over-designed with the shoulder pad details, white stripes, cravat, and side cap covering his fringe. It all makes for a very busy design. His story outfit is more fitting in my opinion, as it reads much more youthful while still having a fighter in training aesthetic. Also, compared to Falk, who is wearing almost the same thing, you can see how her design is much more simple and readable. It's also dark, but it has much better contrasting colors to stand out. So I am very pleased to see how his new design looks. He now has a brighter color palette with a nice bluey green for his jacket and jeans, with the red from his jacket, gloves and boots popping out much more. Also being a lot slimmer and using a more MMA styled gloves and boxing shoes reads more like a young fighter in my opinion than his uniform did. I really like this new design. It's just all around better for the character in my opinion. As far as the story goes, I think it'd be nice to see Ed's fighting style rely less on psycho powers, or that he has refined them to make them his own, becoming less connected to M. Bison overall. Going into the actual gameplay, for his normals, in Street Fighter V, Ed has a lot of plus normals, which isn't common in Street Fighter 6, so I'd expect him to only have 1 or 2 plus normals, probably his light punch and medium punch. I hope his medium punch stays in a similar state overall, staying as his main combo route starter, being able to link into all of his other normals, except for heavy kick. I feel that this fits his simpler play style. I find that his crouching medium punch and crouching medium kick have a lot of consistency issues when cancelled into specials, so they may become more tools for drive rushing to pick up on whiff punish combos. Also, I imagine moves like medium kick or heavy kick will have worse frame data, but instead be used more out of drive rush to close distance quick and make them safer on block or comboable on hit. Onto his V-skill specials. A lot of V-skills in Street Fighter V were used to get around the fireball neutral. They had a lot of other applications, but if someone was far away, most V-skills would help them either get in or give them some other kind of advantage, even if it was just to build V-trigger. It looks like in Street Fighter 6, dealing with fireballs can happen in a similar way, but just with the drive system. If fireballs are far away, you can safely parry to avoid your drive gauge being chipped. Up close, you can drive impact through them sometimes it seems. You can try to catch the starter with a drive rush normal, or even just drive reversal if they're close enough if you want to get the space back. Because of this, I feel like Ed's V-skill 1 won't be suited for Street Fighter 6. So I wouldn't be surprised if they get rid of it altogether. Most V-skills have been removed or reworked already. For example, Luke's V-skill 1 is gone and his V-skill 2 is now his back heavy punch. I think there's a good chance that they make Ed's V-skill 2, Psycho Swing and Smash into normals or special moves. This would certainly add more to his visual style of being a fighter with big swinging blows rather than psycho power style specials. Now onto his special moves. This is where I want Ed to change the most. Something that always felt very limiting was how most of his specials were 2-part moves. To do Psycho Splash, you need to hit Rising. To do Psycho Shot, you need to do Spark first. To use EX Psycho Knuckle, you need to land Flicker. This makes him really strong once you land your hit, but a lot of special cancels just missed at bad spacing, making it hard to capitalize on stray hits. Crouching Medium Kick isn't reliable into Spark. Crouching Medium Punch isn't reliable into any of his specials except for Flicker. I really hope that they make it easier and more reliable to combo into his special moves. Whiff punishes were especially dangerous into any special moves in some matchups. This made me rely on Flicker a lot since it's more safer, which felt very limiting. I almost want Psycho Spark and Shot gone, since it's very hard to get the most out of this move unless you are very close. Against fast fireballs, you can trap yourself into getting counter hit going into Shot, or Spark is punished during its recovery. As well, it is very whiff punishable versus some characters, and EX Shot can be accidentally counter hit really easily if your opponent is mashing. And with all the previously mentioned drive methods of dealing with fireballs, I hope that if he does get a projectile, that it is very different to how it works now. Since spending drive gauge on overdrive moves is very resource intensive, I hope that the EX specials have good utility and are worth using. Currently, EX Psycho Knuckle is way too good not to use. They may make his specials similar to Loot, where you start with a special and you can choose to add more meter for a different ender. Things like Splash and Knuckle may become overdrive exclusive moves, which could be interesting, having meaningful decision making in your combos. Generally, I hope he moves away from the bait play style, making your opponent correctly respond to Spark, Knuckle, Snatcher correctly while also checking your dashes and jumps. It makes your opponent play reactionary and boils down to a knowledge check for your opponent. I also feel that Psycho Knuckle would be weird with the drive impact and drive parry if it still passes through the opponent. I imagine they would change this to not side swap if it does stay. Target combos would be a nice way to encourage Ed to approach without relying on his specials. They could even make Flicker a target combo and make it unsafe on block but more rewarding on hit leading into his specials. This would be more fun, I think, since you would be rewarded for using the correct approach for what your opponent's doing, playing riskier to get the greater reward rather than only using the safe options. And it can also lean into the fighter/boxer playstyle of fishing for a counter hit and then rushing in when it finally lands. Onto the supers. It seems in general level 1 supers are quick strike invincible moves to end combos or as a reversal tool. Level 2 supers are a mix of installs and combo extenders. They seem to be more suited to what people like about the current iteration of the character, like how Guile's V-Trigger 1 has come back as his level 2 super, and level 3s are all cinematic invincible moves. I think for Ed's level 1, something that maybe incorporates a rapid punch sequence like the first part of his Street Fighter V critical art is pretty likely. I would enjoy something more interesting like a Snatcher from a big hit, visually like something from his V-Skills or EX Psycho Shot. His current V-Triggers have a high chance of being his level 2 super. His V-Trigger 1 Psycho Cannon is the type of special move that gives you multiple chances of opening up the opponent's defense or landing one massive juggle combo. And his V-Trigger 2 Enhanced Snatcher gives him 2 to 3 chances to break open someone's defense or extend a combo. These are both pretty iconic for the character and both considered quite strong, so they are likely to return in some form. His level 3 in critical art I feel will be very representative of how his story develops in Street Fighter 6. If he is a more mature person who is controlling their powers, they may try and lean into the fighter style with a boxing homage, showing how he's become more technical fighter. Or if he is less in control of his powers, they may go in the opposite direction and have him unleash an unrestrained psycho powers with a massive attack. And lastly, his control scheme. This one a lot of people have speculated about for a while. Ed currently has 2-button specials, mash specials, command specials, and held specials. I think if they want to give him more specials, they can just use specific button combinations, like light punch and medium punch giving a different special to medium and heavy punch. But if they do things like make Flicker a target combo and Knuckle is only an overdrive follow-up, this could free up some real estate in his inputs for new specials. But in the end, this may all be wrong, and they may change him completely or change him not at all. These have just been my ideas for things that I would like to see changed for the character, but I'm looking forward to seeing what we get. I'll be playing a lot of the characters in the meantime that I'm interested in, like Manon. Once I've played Street Fighter 6, I might change my mind altogether based on how the game's meta evolves. Let me know what you would like to see for Ed in Street Fighter 6. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.